Alright, what is up everybody, and welcome back to another video. So, we got a good one for you today. The 94th Legislature Senate branch in Minnesota has introduced SF 2589, authored by 5 Republicans. This bill, introduced March 13th, 2025, is a Trump Derangement Syndrome, TDS, amending Minnesota Statutes 2024 Section 245.462 Subdivision 20 by adding Subdivision 245I.02 Subdivision 29 by adding a subdivision. What this bill has been introduced and to be brought to the table on March 17th is what will make the TDS a mental disorder. Here is what the bill says in line 2.23 to 3.17. Section 2, Minnesota Statutes 2024, Section 245.462 is amended by adding a subdivision to read. New text begin. Subdivision .28. New text end. New text begin. Trump Derangement Syndrome. New text end, new text begin. Trump Deranged Syndrome means to acute onset of paranoia in otherwise normal persons that is in reaction to the policies and presidencies of President Donald J. Trump. Symptoms may include Trump-induced general hysteria, which produce an inability to distinguish between legitimate policy differences and signs of psychopathology, got tongue twisted there, in President Donald J. Trump's behavior. This may be expressed by new text end, new text begin. 1. Verbal expressions of intense hostility towards President Donald J. Trump, and new text end, new text begin. 2. Overt acts of aggression and violence against anyone supporting President Donald J. Trump or anything that symbolizes President Donald J. Trump. New text end. Section 3, Minnesota Statutes 2024, Section 245I.02, Subdivision 29 is amended to read. Subdivision 29, mental illness. Mental illness means new text begin Trump Derangement Syndrome, or new text end any of the conditions included in the most recent edition of the DC 0-5 Diagnostic Classification of Mental Health and Developmental Disorder of Infancy and Early Childhood, published by 023, or the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders, published by the American Psychiatric Association. Section 4, Minnesota Statutes 2024, Section 245I.02 is amended by adding a subdivision to read. New text begin, Subdivision 40A. New text end, new text begin. Trump Derangement Syndrome. New text end, new text begin. Trump Derangement Syndrome means the acute onset of paranoia in otherwise normal persons that is in reaction to the policies and presidencies of President Donald J. Trump. Symptoms may include Trump-induced general hysteria, which produces an inability to distinguish between legitimate policy differences and sign of psychopathological in Donald J. Trump's behavior. This may be expressed by new text end, new text begin. 1. Verbal expressions of intense hostility towards Donald J. Trump, and new text end, new text begin. 2. Overt acts of aggression and violence against anyone supporting President Donald J. Trump or anything that symbolizes President Donald J. Trump. This bill has basically been introduced to an attempt to silence people that speak out against Trump and to give them a false mental disorder. People have been saying for the last few years that Trump, if reelected, would do everything in his power to shut down those that oppose his agenda. And he has said that so many times on his campaign trail that he will go after them. And this right here is a dictator. A dictator is a political leader who possesses absolute power in modern political systems. A dictator can be a single person or a member of a small group that exercises such power. MAGA. The term comes from the Latin title dictator, which originally referred to a temporary magistrate in the Roman Republic granted extraordinary powers. Trump has been trying to get absolute power since he took back office January 20th of 2025. Legislation is working on being passed in Congress to where Trump has absolute power over telling everyone what the laws are. And we are in for some very scary times right now. You know, Donald Trump has already signed an executive order that states he is the only one that can tell you what laws are in the Constitution and how those laws actually read. He has taken the power away from the courts. He has taken the power away from our legislative branch. He has taken the power away from the people. We have been telling you this, and everything that we have been telling you over the last couple of years is now starting to come true. But thank you for checking out this video, and please hit that subscribe button down below. Like the video, comment on the video, share the video, make sure you hit that bell icon so you know every time new videos get uploaded. Thank you, everyone.